Good afternoon. This is Newsspin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, team.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, Miss Nancy Charles.
How are you, team?
I am okay. How about you?
I'm good, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Team, I have to say, there are times when I've tried calling, and I've not been able to get through. I'm surprised that Rick said that he tried calling yesterday and he didn't get through. I thought I was the only one with the problem.
And that's why you decided to become an opposition senator. You have more time.
Yeah. But Tim, I think I want to agree and also disagree with Rick with the matter that he raised with reference to the allegations of the sexual harassment against the acting commissioner. I don't know if you recall, Tim, that when we were in government, and I think it's to set a precedent as to what our position is. When we were in government, you remember when the story of Honorable Ubaldo Freeman came out.
Yeah.
There were those allegations. Of course, the first one, because of the nature of it and what was told, there was no action taken. But once the second matter arose, the then United Workers' Party administration did what was right and honorable. And it was not sexual allegations. It was allegations of a personal matter. I don't know that Ubaldo did anything illegal or wrong. Maybe morally people stood to judge him, etc. But at the end of the day, we thought that this was an unnecessary distraction for the government, and we had to get him to resign. But in this matter, I want to let Rick know the reason I agree with him is that I do agree that as the United Workers' Party, we have not done enough. And the point Rick, I think, was trying to bring to your attention is that when the Labour Party decides that they are for or against something, all their rats, their cows, their dogs, their pigs, everybody comes, they sing the same song, they beat pans, they take the streets, they do everything because either they are supporting or not supporting against this particular thing. And I suppose the expectation is that this is the same from the United Workers' Party. But I just want to give an explanation that we tried as much as possible when the matter came up not to get involved initially. Why? Timothy, I think you would agree that every single thing in St. Lucia right now is polarized.
Yeah.
Once a matter raises its head, let's say if I call about something, because I am United Workers' Party, it's seen as being yellow. Nobody sees anything as being neutral in this country anymore. And so from that position, we decided let the matter take its course. Since the Welfare Association, the Police Welfare Association is the one dealing with it, rightly so, let it take its course and see where it goes. Because once we get involved, this thing will become red and yellow. And Timothy Koife, as soon as the United Workers' Party came out, in support of the Police Welfare Association and asking the Prime Minister to conduct an investigation, this thing became political. Cameron Law was all of a sudden a UWP operative. He was no longer an operative of the Welfare Association, and this thing became yellow and red. But I do want to say to Rick that not only Fortuna, we have the press conference. In addition to the press conference, we had an online meeting where we had various resource persons, including we had Felicia Brown, we had Sarah Flood, who's a lawyer, myself, who spoke on the issue. I also gave an interview prior to the Senate hearing 2 weeks ago, and I called on the Prime Minister. I called on Virginia Albert Poyer. I called on Emma Hippolyte, because for me, it was really hypocritical and it was distasteful, the excuses that both Emma and Virginia, as women, but Virginia Albert Poyot in her strategic position, she is Minister for, I think, Home Affairs or National Security. I don't want to keep getting confused.
Home Affairs.
She's also Minister for the Public Service, Timothy. And to deal with that matter is directly within the merit of Virginia Albert Poyot.
But don't forget, she's minister with responsibility for gender relations or gender affairs as well.
Again.
Yeah.
And so when you want to come up and stand up and say you don't know anything about the women, Timothy, I want to make it very clear to St. Lucians, and I have sent a message to the Labour Party. I am going to send it now, because if it has to be political, fine. The United Workers' Party and I, Nancy Charles, we will not let that matter rest. As a matter of fact, we're in the process of writing to international agencies to ensure that we bring that matter to their concern, to ensure that they call on the government. And this is what we're asking, Timothy. We are asking the government, the Prime Minister, who's the Minister for National Security, but the Prime Minister as well. Virginia Albert Poleon, who's the minister responsible for the public service and for gender relations. All we are asking is there are allegations being made about the acting commissioner, and plans are afoot to make him the commissioner, the highest person responsible for law and order in this country. And all we are asking is, if these claims are being made, that by right you should do what is correct and to conduct an investigation. Our information is that the officers in question have done their part. They have reported the matter. There were investigations done. There were doctors done. Whatever it is that was supposed to be done is done. So the Prime Minister is supposed to call, because do you think that the gentleman will call an investigation into himself, Timothy?
That's very unlikely.
Exactly. He will not act, and as I understand, there's the excuse. Listen to the excuse, The letter was written to the acting commissioner. That's what Virginia said. The letter was written to the commissioner at the time, or the acting commissioner at the time, who was Miss Pelius. And so the letter was not addressed to her. She was only copied on the letter. So when you are copied on the letter, you are not called to action. So it means that Miss Pelius is no longer there. The letter was addressed to her. So what happened? She's no longer there. So nothing happened? Nothing happened? I mean, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, I had a story about the Bam Bam Wall, Timothy, and I appreciated perhaps the letter that was written by the priest. But I'm also saying that the church needs to take it further, that if you're concerned about women, you need to be concerned about women in their entirety. Not only if you think that women has lost their moral fabric and whining in the street and grinding and whatever, but you should also speak out against what is happening to women physically as well. We don't hear the church speaking about the physical abuse that is happening, the sexual abuse that is happening, the verbal abuse that is happening to women, etc. So we want them to take it a step further to speak about that as well. So it's not only about the Bam Bam Wall. Where and what is the church's position? Why is there so much silence, Timothy, in this country? From every organization you can think of, I'm not hearing from the CAFRA and the women's group. I'm not hearing from Catherine Stillis. I don't know if she's spoken about it. I've not heard. I'm not hearing from all these women who used to call about Black Lives Matter and whatever lives matter. I'm not hearing from the church, the Catholic Church. Nobody is calling on the Prime Minister to say these are serious allegations. Not one, not two, not three women. Nobody is calling on this Prime Minister and this administration to say, conduct an investigation to find out whether this is true or not. I am saying to you, Rick, we have not done enough. Maybe I need to call in your support and maybe you can give me advice as to how to take it to the next step. But the women of the United Workers' Party and the United Workers' Party in general, and I, Nancy Charles, we will not let this go. This is a matter that is serious enough for the government to take some form of action to ensure that they investigate this matter and let the public know what the outcome of this investigation is. That's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Mrs. Nancy Charles of the Opposition, UWP.